Cali Breeze, Get Loaded TV. Man, it's 2020, y'all. Hope everybody out there is having a wonderful day, staying safe out there. And we got a wonderful show for y'all today. Man, I'm going to let this brother introduce himself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Courtesy the Beast, hip hop artist, man. How everybody doing right now?
Man, Courtesy, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today, sir. Everybody out there, that's Courtesy the Beast. Courtesy, go ahead and let them know right now so they can follow you while we talking on your social media outlet.
Gotcha. So everything is Courtesy the Beast, no spaces. It's like one big word.
Fabulous. Okay, for all my listeners out there, they tapping in, tuning in. I'm gonna just say this, man. God is good. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today, brother. I want everybody out there to kind of get an idea. Who is Courtesy the Beast?
Oh man, who is Courtesy the Beast? Well, first for starters, a hip hop artist, and what I represent as an artist is I represent purpose, and what that means is I'm a how would I say, a firm believer of finding your purpose. I'm a firm believer in standing out. I'm a firm believer in don't hide yourself. I'm a firm believer in not fitting in with the rest. So every song ties in. That's like the foundation of every song I ever put out is standing out, finding your purpose, because we all have a purpose on here, and it's hard to really find it. And what better not way to do it than to music, because everybody listen to music. So that's pretty much who Courtesy the Beast is, a person who believes in purpose, pretty much.
Okay. So Courtesy, let's talk about when you first fell in love with just the art. Who did you grow up listening to, and what made you just want to really take it serious?
To be honest with you, man, I didn't actually. So I didn't exactly take it completely serious until I'm 23 right now. I didn't exactly take it serious until I hit 18. But but be honest, I've been in love with music since I was like 8 years old. Like, I wrote my first rap when I was 8. I started to make beats when I was probably like 7, because I didn't really have the laptops and stuff, but I had a piano that my grandpa gave me. It was an old piano, but I still made beats on it. So I've been in love with music since I was a little boy. And the artists I grew up with, it's pretty much artists that we all know and love. I want to say who I grew up with. I grew up listening to T.I. It's a mixture of not just hip hop. It's a mixture of country. It's a mixture of R&B, a mixture of jazz, a mixture of pop, a mixture of it's a mixture. But if it was for as far as hip hop artists, can't forget Lil Wayne. Can't forget T.I., Rick Ross. I grew up on old school, Big Pun, KRS-One, Busta Rhymes when he had dreads. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Fat Joe, Nas, I get Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Crew, Tupac, Biggie, Big Homie. That's who I really grew up. That's where I got my style from, really. The old school rappers,
Right. Sound like you're a true hip hop baby. You feel me? That's what's up. Okay, so let's get back into the purpose scheme for a second.
Right.
What was that deciding changing point where you just decided to take it serious and you started to say, you know what, I want to put some substance in my music?
Right. What made me finally say, this is what I want to do with my life, what made me finally say that is I realized that this isn't how will I say this? So I didn't want to do this as a hobby anymore because I just didn't want to. It's just not nothing. Like, I got tired of the corporate world, and like, I know it's something greater. I know I have, excuse me, I know I have more in store. I know I have something greater in me that I could give to the world. And that pretty much is like the motivation behind every song, or my name, Courtesy the Beast. That's like the foundation is I have something I can give out to the world. And once you realize that, you know, once you really focus on what you want to do, you'll change. You'll definitely change. You'll make it happen. You'll do whatever it takes to actually make it work. So the turning point, I want to say around maybe, 18, 19. That's when I finally said, you know what? It's time to take this serious, because I actually believe I have a gift. I have a passion for this. This is not just a hobby. This is not just something I just, have to think about doing. It just comes natural to me, like flows, music, melodies. I could just be chilling in the store, and like it just comes. So I was like, it's time to get serious with this gift I was given from God, and time to show everyone who Courtesy the Beast is.
Fabulous, fabulous. Man, that's a sick story right there, man. I'm gonna just digress for a second and say it's a lot of music out there that doesn't have a purpose.
Right.
So I think what you're doing is right on point, man. I think that you're giving a lot of people a different way of thinking about how they perceive or how they even take music in. And you also are putting something in an artist's ear. A lot of artists that go in the studio, they might even have a purpose. They just probably going in there kind of freelance. But man, that's dope. I think it's really dope what you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about your brand. I actually did my homework on you a little bit, and I know you have merchandise. Let's talk a little bit about your merchandise and let everybody out there know about your brand and where they can go support it.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I do have merch. So for example, right, I just want to bring up one of my shirts, right, or one of my jackets. It goes back to what you said. Like, it's a lot of people, a lot of artists, or people in general, who don't really know, or don't really know their purpose, or don't know how to find it, right? So what I did was, and this jacket right here is exactly what I stand on as an artist. It's on my page, and you can also find it on CourtesyTheBeast.com, right? It's a jacket that says "Finding Your Purpose," and I only listed 3 tips on how exactly to find it. Because, like we was talking about before, it's a lot of people who don't know their purpose. They don't want to admit it, but it's really not hard to find. So I listed 3 things, and it's on the jacket. How to find your purpose. The first one is passion, whether that is dancing, podcasts, music, gymnastics, cooking, whatever it is. And the second tip is education.
Loving the brand, big dog. Y'all definitely go tap in on his clothes. Let's talk about your music now, man. You got some singles and some projects that we need to hear about. Go ahead and inform us about that.
Yeah, so and it's funny you said that. I actually just released it's called Suitable For. It's on all platforms. Well, all my music is on all platforms, but not my SoundCloud. That's actually where my, how want I say this, the real dope, the real fire, the real flow. That's really where it resides. My SoundCloud, CourtesyTheBeast.com. Courtesy the Beast. But I do have a mixtape out. It's called Suitable For, and it's only 4 songs on there, 2 freestyles and 2 actual songs. And the background behind that is, I want to call it a prophecy. I want to call it a foretelling. Those 4 songs is basically what the things I desire to be or do, or you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty much rapping about the things I'm going to do later on. So, for example, I said, hop out the Lexus. I just did a big show in Texas. So I didn't necessarily do that yet, but I can see myself doing that later on. So I wrote about it. It's kind of like I'm self-prophesying to myself. And
manifesting it before it happens.
Right, exactly. And that's what it's called, suitable for. That's like I said, the foundation of every song, of each song from there. It's like you said, manifesting.
You're speaking it into existence. I love it.
Exactly.
And how is it being an artist coming up in your zone? Like, you know.
Man. Well, so I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You don't really see or hear too much about Fort Lauderdale or Broward rappers. The only one you mostly hear about is Kodak, right? But as far as the hip hop game, you barely hear any rappers coming out of Fort Lauderdale. It's always California, it's always New York, Atlanta, Philly, but never Fort Lauderdale. But as far as being an artist down here, it's a lot of, to be honest with you, it's a lot of upcoming artists here, but it's always, I don't know what it is, it just never reaches, it just never goes beyond that. You know what I'm saying? You're just an upcoming artist, but it never goes beyond, it never goes to mainstream artists, as far as right now. But I'm speaking this now, I will be a mainstream artist from Fort Lauderdale. Speaking that right now.
You know, you being in Florida right now, Florida being one of the hottest places on the planet, you know, being attacked with this COVID. What's really going on right now with y'all, man? My prayers, go out to y'all. What's popping?
I mean, down here, you could see it everywhere, all on the news, all on social media, everywhere. This Florida has just got the most cases, down to Miami, down to Fort Lauderdale. It crept its way all the way down here to the inner cities of Fort Lauderdale. It's a lot of cases down here, but you can't, like, the numbers that they showing us, me personally, I just can't believe the stats, because numbers jumping up and down, and you're seeing all these reports and stories about how the test is not accurate. So at this point, I don't even think people care anymore, because, like, we tired of keeping up with everything. So we just, like, it is what it is, man. I'm going to just wear my mask. I'm going to go grocery shopping, and I'm going to do what I do. But, like, I don't even think people even paying attention no more.
So it's a lot of foolery and fuckery in the media, in other words.
Man, when I say people is getting controlled by this media thing, because everybody knows that the media only shows you what they want you to see. So they gonna show you all kinds of stats and all kinds of numbers, spiked up numbers, to scare us, to aware us, to whatever the case may be.